Meeting rather than the normal physical meeting that was normally held for our council. Now, when we look at the 2020 standards, we do have issues for the technologies and for the technician because of the practice-oriented component. The practice-oriented component will require the psychomotor domain to be really evident out. Now, the COVID-19 would actually stop some of our students from going for their industrial training. And industrial training has been considered as part and parcel of the practice-oriented component. So therefore, accreditation department have been asked by so many stakeholders on how they need to address all these issues. So we have to fall back on our guiding principle, and I think I can share that on the next slide. Okay, the BM guiding principle do mention that the purpose of accreditation shall not be compromised. So in the section 2, we do mention of 2.1, all programs to ensure the attainment of the 12 program outcomes as stipulated in the standards. So we do mention in this guiding principle that all alternative assessment must be designed or formulated based on the intended learning outcomes. We allow for scenario or case studies type of questions that can be used as alternative to the psychomotor and affective domain during this COVID-19 pandemic. In section 2.2, all programs have been advised to implement substantial equivalent assessment to the current assessment. It is quite typical that most of our program here would have quizzes and they will have final exam. Now, if students can't meet and we can't conduct the offline exam as what Prof. Student mentioned in Korea, that it can be done over a period of 3 weeks, but we can't do it here. And the semester, the exam period actually fall during the MCO order. So therefore, we allow the universities and the program to conduct continuous assessment, and the conduct of the continuous assessment can also be done with a take-home exam and any other assignments. And the program is expected to undertake precautionary measures in handling integrity issues. So this has been highlighted as could be one of the main issue when students are taking their final exam away from the base. And in section 2.3, all programs must ensure that all students should have at least a minimum access to all e-learning. So there is an issue when we had engagement session with the stakeholders, with the universities, with the program, that not all students would actually have the minimum access. And that is quite an issue and a very challenging issue to all the universities and to all the programs in trying to implement the online learning and especially the online assessment. And we also try to elaborate a bit more on the TLA, and we focus on the final year project because it's a culminating year. The industrial training because it's supposed to enhance on the practice-oriented component and is also to enhance on the affective domain. And then courses with extensive laboratory work, especially those courses that may require all the required laboratory exercises before they could actually conduct their final year project. The integrated design project, and for all the design project that may require them to construct prototype and to test prototype, and also the final examination component. We do elaborate on these 5 main issues because they are of a big concern to most of our university stakeholders. So this is basically what we have already discussed in terms of our SOP, the accreditation SOP during our MCO and the post-MCO. So now what we did was all the new cycle program has been given a blanket extension. So quote unquote, we give them a free 1-year blanket extension from 2020-21. So therefore, that will actually take about a major bulk of our accreditation process and visit to the next year. Now, but we still could not do that for the new program and for the different program. These are the programs that we actually did between July, and it will be continued until December 2020. But then again, before December comes in, we already have faced the problem of the red zone area. So therefore, we do actually approve a clause here by saying, in the event of a physical visit is not practical and MCO is in fact, a virtual accreditation visit may be an option. So we started that on the 14th of September with one program in Sarawak, and we're going to have another two in Sarawak and also in Sabah. So then, but the comprehensive video and picture or photograph records of the facilities and laboratories are to be provided by the IHL, but we do give them a condition. A verification or confirmatory physical visit will be done in the following year. So therefore, for 2021, it will be a very busy year for all of us at the accreditation department. So all the continuing and the interim visit will be done on a desktop version, and this desktop version is actually time consuming to all of our panel. And I do pity most of the panel that have to conduct the continuing and the interim visit, because trying to get the documents, that the evidences, because our accreditation process is based on evidence, and these evidences are sometimes misunderstood by the IHL, and rather than a one-day event will actually lead to about a week or even 2 weeks, and in one of the program it even take a month before it's actually being closed. So that's really the issues that we actually see. Okay, next slide please. Right, basically these are the challenges, the TLA challenges that the IHL are sharing with us, and also the accreditation and the solutions that we thought that could actually be helpful to the universities. We also request the university to actually put up a market or employer survey on all of those graduates that have actually come up from this TLA, which is done online, and also to look at the benchmarking and to triangulate whether the students really, the graduates really do obtain the outcome as per when they are before the COVID-19 pandemic. I think that will be all. And I think I have one more slide. Yeah, so the OBE planting cycle in Malaysia, we started in 1999, and we expect now for 2020, to 2023 is actually, it becomes a culture now within our society.
I would like to actually divide the scenarios into 3 terms, which is for the females prior to going to the tertiary education, which is during the secondary school, and after that will be what we call the prime, where